and welcome, compliments of the season. This is Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. And as always, we will showcase trending stories in this package of events in Nigeria's power sector. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. Let's begin with this story from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, which says its nationwide transmission rehabilitation and expansion projects are ongoing to deliver a target 20,000 megawatts bulk electricity wheeling capacity by 2021.
The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, who disclosed this at a quarterly press briefing in Abuja, said the investments are being made under Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, TREP.
Last time we discussed with you, we discussed about the implementation of the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, which seeks to expand the grid to 20,000 megawatt by 2021. What I want to tell you is that the implementation of the program is on track. There's no drilling. We are on track. What do I mean? What I mean is that all the things that we intend to do for the period to date have been implemented according to our program.
Mr. Mohammed also announced the plans to procure automatic meter reading AMR devices as part of the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition SCADA scheme to automate the routine energy reading process by all market participants to boost transparency in the power sector.
We have taken a component of SCADA, which is the automatic meter reading, and we have signed a contract on SCADA, on automatic meter reading, and we have commenced the implementation. So all the human interface that lead to poor record will be eliminated.
For the full implementation of the SCADA, he said,
and for the SCADA proper, what we have decided is that we have to launch for communication backbone. We have to procure communication backbone for some critical lines before we can go for the launching of the procurement of the SCADA.
Part of the objectives being pursued through TREP is frequency stability. Mohammed, who gave updates on this at the briefing, said also that TCN had advertised and was finalizing the procurement of 260 megawatt spinning reserve to strengthen grid stability.
This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that competitive procurement of spinning reserve took place. We advertised after NAC approved it. We have done the evaluation of the proposal that we received, and we have discovered that we can only deploy 260 megawatt of spinning reserve. We have concluded the evaluation. We are going to forward it to NAC for NAC to approve. Once NAC approves it, we are going to deploy 260 megawatt of spinning reserve. If you check our daily broadcast now, you will see our spinning reserve is either 0 or 40. With a generation of average of 4,000, the spinning reserve is supposed to be at least 10%, which is 400.
In spite of the huge investment TCN is making to increase bulk electricity wheeling capacity, the company has decried poor and non-commensurate investment efforts from the distribution companies, DISCOs. He urged DISCOs operators to invest in injection substations and their networks to take the available transmitted power to the consumers.
Out of the 738 interface that we have with the distribution companies, 738 interface that we have with the distribution companies, only 421 are connected directly through injection substation. That is only 431 of our substations and our interface have no connection directly to the customer. The remaining 139 have hybrid of some injection substation, and some our lines are connected directly to distribution customers. The remaining 177 are no single injection substation for distribution.
Responding to questions from pressmen on the consequences of the DISCO's lack of investment and its implication on transmission infrastructure, the TCN head said,
those transformers that are not connected to injection substation have no protection from the side of the DISCOs. So meaning if there is any fault on the side of distribution network, it hits our transformer directly. Now they continue to hit. The investment that we are doing in transmission cannot be sustainable if there is no commensurate investment in DISCO. And that is why TCN is asking for capitalization of the DISCOs.
The Communauté Électrique de Benin, CEB, overseeing power supply in Benin Republic and Togo, has held a meeting with the Transmission Company of Nigeria to review its contract on importing energy from Nigeria.
The Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of CEB, Mr. Karimo Chabi Shika, said heads of the republics of Benin and Togo had held a meeting in November, which prompted a follow-up meeting with the Chairman Executive Board of the West African Power Pool, WAP, and Managing Director CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Muhammad. He announced at the meeting that from the 31st of December 2018, CEB will no longer import energy from Nigeria to the two countries, but further stated that TCN will continue to provide transmission services to Togo and Benin Republic through the new separate distribution companies, while they service the debt owed to TCN that will be transferred to them, saying,
Donc la CEB va continuer de faire le transport.
They will continue to take care of the transmission services.
While seeking support of TCN to achieve the country's energy stability, Mr. Shika spoke of the commitment to clear the debts CEB owes TCN in the provision of transmission services on the exports of energy, while they discussed the contract transfer process.
Et l'urgence, nous la prenons à partir d'aujourd'hui jusqu'au 31 janvier au moins, que nous soyons capables de faire la mise en œuvre de cette décision sans que ça ne perturbe la mise à disposition de l'énergie électrique.
We had to take decisions on concerning the events that are happening such that they will not have any negative consequence on the network.
Responding, the MD CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Muhammad, reminded the party of the previous discussion with CEB and Niger Lake of Niger Republic, where they were told that the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC, NBETS, oversees the guarantee of power generation and its transmission in the country. He urged the heads to see the Permanent Secretary Power, Ministry of Power Works and Housing, on the bilateral issues, especially with regards to the hanging debts of energy generation and transmission to those countries.
Let's take a break for a message. Please stay tuned.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right-of-way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right-of-way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria.
To raise bulk electricity wheeling capacity in Nigeria's capital city of Abuja, the Transmission Company of Nigeria has signed contracts with the General Electric and Grid Solutions, SAS, to build more transmission substations.
Speaking during the contract signing ceremony in Abuja, the Managing Director CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, said the project was of top priority to put N-1 in Abuja to create redundancy and facilitate uninterrupted bulk electricity supply. On the procurement process, he said,
"What we believe is that what we need now is infrastructure. And the quantum of contract we are going to have, we have so much money that we are going to enter into agreement with. If we're going to have small contracts all over the place, we are not going to be able to manage them. So we deliberately decide to package these contracts, under transmission rehabilitation and expansion program to attract the best all over the world. And we also want to have fewer contracts, fewer big contracts. We don't want so many small contracts."
Mr. Mohammed, who noted that the present TCN reformed its procurement process to prevent failed projects, said the lowest bid price for the Abuja wheeling scheme became the winning bid because the bidders have the capacity and are all of global standards.
If you look at the evaluation and the procurement of this Abuja wheeling scheme, each of the 6 lots, the lowest publicly announced price is the lowest evaluated bidder. What does that mean? It means that all of them are lions and they bidded in line with the scope. Nobody bid out of the scope. That's what it means. And I think this is the first time the industry is achieving that.
For the 6 lots of the contract, the TCN head said there were only 3 contractors, which made it quite easy to manage.
All the contractors are contractors that are capable of delivering the job. One of them yesterday, which we signed the contract with them, said, "Look, I want to tell you that I will deliver this project less than 18 months time that was allocated for this project." That's what they said. Is that what they said? Yes. Have you ever been hearing this kind of story before? No. All our contracts will normally extend and extend and extend.
The head transmission service provider TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, said most of the legacy transmission substations were built by Siemens and GE with high standards and hence a need to return to such quality.
I believe the way we are scoping our project now, we are gradually addressing such anomaly. So I want to congratulate GE. I know the stuff you have made up, especially that your company won the 330 kV aspect of this project. We are happy that you are going to give us a very good standard project. I want to quickly go over the line of what happened yesterday. And I want to tell G that we are not likely to entertain any time extension and equally price variation.
The Chief Executive Officer and President of General Electric in Nigeria, Mr. Lazarus Angbazu, commended TCN for the transparent procurement process, saying,
"I want to begin by really, first of all, congratulating you, your leadership team, and the entire team for conducting what, in my view, is probably the very best public tendering process that we've been associated with in the last several years. This was an open tender. It was a competitive tender. It was 100% transparent. And in spite of that, it was executed with a lot of speed and a sense of urgency.
He assured that GE has brought forward its best team to win and execute the project.
Because of the importance of this project, we actually GE put together perhaps the best team that we could do, leveraging our resources and our centers of excellence all over the world, quite frankly, to put together a proposal that will actually be competitive, that will be in compliance with the specifications, to be able to achieve this project, and also to give confidence and to sort of demonstrate our own commitment also to the country that we don't have a business in Nigeria if the power sector is not working.
The project manager for AFD funded project at TCN, engineer Mrs. Jane Okemini, lauded the company's management for the support it has given to the Project Management Unit, PMU, as she urged GE to deliver on the 330 kV substations.
Also, I want you to remember that your 330 kV substation project you're handling in Abuja City is very sensitive and outstanding. The new APO is supposed to be a model station for the third source of supply into Abuja. So it's a very sensitive project, and we believe that you will deliver before time. Before time, as promised by your MD.
TCN also signed another contract for Abuja Feeding Scheme with Grid Solutions SAS for 132 kV substations. Muhammad, while signing the contract, said the project will be built in Gwarimpa, Lokogoma, and Kuje to make it 8 132 kV substations in Abuja. He thanked the French Development Agency, AFD, for the $170 million financing, saying,
I'm happy to be part of this historic event, and I want to use this opportunity to thank the government of France for making this funding available, and also thank the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Power for all the support they give us. This is part of the transmission, rehabilitation and expansion program, which would seek to expand the network to at least 20,000 megawatt by 2021. I think we are still on track in implementation of that project.
We bring you an interview with the project manager for AFD-funded projects at TCN, engineer Mrs. Jane Okemini, on the successful signing of contracts. Can you give insight into the contracts TCN just signed for Abuja Transmission Project?
The contract that we signed today is part of the contract for Abuja Feeding Scheme, which is part of the TREP program that TCN management is running. The TREP program means Transmission Rehabilitation Expansion Program. We've just signed the contracts for Abuja Feeding Scheme on the 132 kV voltage level substations and the 330 kV voltage level substation. The one we signed today is on a 330, 132, 33 kV substation that will be in New Apple, and the 330, 132, 33 kV substation that will be in West Main, that is in Lube. The 330, 132, 33 kV substation in New Apple is basically the mother station for the third source of supply that will come into Abuja through Lafia from Makurdi Jos 330 kV line. This particular substation is very sensitive and very important for electricity distribution in Abuja, because we are going to have a 3-number 132 kV lines going out of there from the new Apple. One will get to Kuje 132 33 kV substation. The other, one of the legs will get to Lokogoma Wumba 132 33 kV substation, and the short leg that will connect the new Apple and the old Apple on 132 kV voltage level.
What will be the impact of this project on power transmission when completed?
This will help to improve the voltage profile within Abuja and its environment, and the reliability to be of standard. The 132 33 kV substations that we are going to add is going to help us to have a ring network within Abuja in such a way that once there is a power outage in one of the sources of the 330 kV line coming into Abuja, the other one will come in because of the ring circuit we already have on ground for the 132 33 kV substation all around Abuja.
How will it affect the Nigerian economy?
This particular project will go a very long way to help the economic life of Nigerians in Abuja, because with this, we believe that we are going to have 24/7 electricity supply into Abuja.
What are the components of this project?
We are going to have 2-number 60 MVA 132 33 kV substations, and in the same on the same vein, in the new Apple, we are going to have 9 33 kV outgoing feeders. In West Main, we are going to have the same 9-number 33 kV outgoing feeders. So we expect the discos to take off to radiate a 9-number 33 kV feeders to their different locations, where they will inject their 15 MVA 3311 substations. This will help for a proper load distribution in the area. The discos will now eliminate the customers on 33 kV 415 networks and convert it to 11 415 networks. This will help to stabilize our grid.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. That's all there is on this edition of the program. As we enjoy the Yuletide, let's work with government to protect power infrastructure in our areas so as to keep the lights on. You can reach us via our social media platforms for more. Thanks for watching. Do it again next week with us. Bye for now.